Sometimes, only
Sometimes I say useful things. Well, so, sometimes when you're talking to somebody before the recording and you say something and you think, oh, I wish I would have recorded that because it doesn't sound the same if you repeat it later. So the theme is, the title is Hello Darkness, My Old Friend. And I was inspired by the Swedes, Lena and Lotta, because it was getting so dark already at the end of every practice. And they had mentioned, coming into winter. So this is really a series of classes to prepare moving into winter. And, by chance, our last class is actually the summer or the winter solstice. So the true beginning of winter is when we complete the series. So I was thinking, just different tools of yoga. So we talked a little bit in the first class about using movement and breathing to sort of lift the energy up when we want to lift the energy up. And then last week we used some techniques of movement and breathing that can gently support the energy when it's low and maybe help us feel more balanced, but not necessarily trying to lift up the energy. And I was contemplating today on the idea of joy. Hi, Heather, welcome.
Hi, Tam.
And I was looking through some references, and nothing really suited where I was coming from. So I turned to some teachings of Saint Francis. So I think all of you know that Francis of Assisi is one of the voices of inspiration that I turn to. And there's a prayer written that sort of summarizes the teachings that he shared. It was written actually like 500 years after his death, but it was written by practitioners of his tradition. And it's called Instrument of Peace in English. And it basically says, it asks for, it gives sort of guidance for spiritual transformation. And there was one part that I think is important to today's inquiry. The prayer says something like, give me strength that when there's hatred, I can plant the seeds of love. Or when there's injury, I can plant the seeds of forgiveness. When there's despair, let me help plant the seeds of hope. When there's darkness, let me plant the seeds of light. Where there is sadness, let me plant the seeds of joy. And give me the strength so that I don't need to focus so much on receiving what I need, but I can focus on giving of myself. Because it's through serving others and giving of myself that we really find transformation and freedom. So that's sort of how I would summarize this prayer. And what I thought I would focus on, there's the part that says, when there's sadness, let me plant the seeds of joy. So it's not asking us to be joyful when there's sadness. It's asking us to tap into the potential for joy that's there. Because of course, when we talk about darkness in the title of this series, it's not just the darkness of the seasonal changes. As in nature, darkness comes and goes throughout the changing times, and in our lives. Each of you that we've shared stories about what's happening in our families and in our lives, there's some darkness that might be there. And so one of the tools that I use in my own practice, and what I've worked with Mirka on as well, is this concept of using the sensory experiences of your body to help you find the resources you need to come back to balance. And so I'd like us to begin the session today by remembering a moment in your life where you felt the sensation of joy. Doesn't have to be a big moment, but I find that most of us who have the capacity to come and participate in group yoga classes have had experiences of joy in their life. And those who have not are probably less interested in group yoga classes. So consider for a moment in the story of your life, a moment that felt joyful. It can be a simple moment of laughing with a loved one. It can be an image in your mind of a beautiful place that just burst your heart open. And what's useful here is to consider in your memory if you have a sensory memory of that experience. Is there a place in your body where that memory feels more alive, feels more clear? And so what we can offer ourselves is the capacity to anchor in the memory of joy and in the potential for joy. So even in a moment of darkness, we don't have to push the darkness away or try to escape it. There are times when we need to be with it. But coming back to a practice of remembering joy, and we'll do something later to embody that sensation of joy, it offers us a sense of safety, a sense that to recognize that what is now will not always be. And so it gives us the realization of freedom from being stuck in a particular moment. So just thinking, remembering, holding on to a moment of joy and how that felt in the body. And then we'll begin to just tap into the breath. So bring your attention to the flow of the breath. And if you can keep some attention to the sensation of this memory of joy. And just be aware of the breath moving in and out. And then I'll ask you just to shift the focus again, imagining as the air comes in, like you could gather the air at the point between the eyebrows and the third eye. And as you exhale, just release through the nose. You can use the Ujjayi technique, the throat control technique, or just breathe through the nose. Just inhale, holding in the third eye. Exhale, release. Continue breathing. Noticing how it feels to bring your attention to the breath this evening. So moving from ideas and theory into what we're feeling in this moment. One of the basic techniques of people are calling mindfulness practice. So now whatever state of mind we're in, joyful or not, just feeling the capacity to breathe in this moment. As we feel as if we can hold the breath here in the third eye, can almost imagine like a golden ball of light residing in this point, inhaling and exhaling. So depending where you are, you can stay seated for the first part, or you can stand. So it depends on how you're set up. I'm just going to stay on the edge of the seat here because it's supportive for my back. So slowly begin to consciously deepen the breath. Really begin to feel the rib cage activating. If you have the attention and the capacity and the interest, you can continue keeping this image of this golden light at the third eye as you breathe. As you continue breathing, just remembering inhale is really bringing in the air, the atmosphere from all shared beings on the earth. So it's like receiving to the third eye, to the light. And as you exhale, you're giving back the air from your lungs. And in this yogic system, we have this model of prana, life energy, stays within the body generally. But when the breath flows, the prana follows. So as we visualize this golden light in the third eye, we inhale, bringing the air in, awakening the prana energy of that point. Exhale, letting that energy move through the center channel, filling you up. So with this deep and slow breath, we can begin to move. We can start maybe with the hands behind you to the low back, if that works for the shoulders. And we're just going to inhale up and exhale back. And so whatever level you're working with, so just focus on the movement and breath. If that's comfortable and easy, focus on the movement, the breath, the image of the golden light in the third eye. So whatever level you're practicing, waking up the shoulders, the neck. Next time the hands are behind the pack, just hold for a moment and just take a few breaths here, simply lifting the chin, dropping the chin towards the throat. Inhale and exhale. And then eventually, we're going to take one arm, open out to the side, look over at the hand, turn the palm of the hand up. We're simply going to move the head here. So taking a breath in, look away from the hand, and then exhale. Reach the hand away. Just noticing what you feel in the neck, shoulders. Be gentle with the neck. So if there's tension or discomfort in the neck. Don't push the movement, go as far as your body allows you. Just feeling as you turn, one side contracts and one side lengthens. And then stay for a few breaths with your head to one side. So I'm looking at the hand that's out, but it might feel more interesting for you to look away from that hand. So your shoulders are in two different positions here. Just notice for you which side feels more interesting to look towards. Stay there and breathe. And then after a few breaths, we're going to come down. If you need to shake the shoulders out or any transitions, feel free to do that. Otherwise, open the other hand. Slowly breathing, looking one direction or the other. Dynamically observing, contracting one side, lengthening the other, and then the opposite direction. And then eventually stay here, looking one side or the other. Maybe do a quick check on both sides and notice which feels most interesting for you. And then when you're ready, release. I'm going to move to standing. You're welcome to stay seated. We're going to move from here just to both hands together, just simply up and down. Good. As always, if the energy is strong, lift, 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 lengthen both sides and back down. Maybe today, let's engage the feet a little more. If you like, inhale, lift the heels as you lift the hands. A little bit of balance, strengthening. Good. Then from here, we're going to keep the heels down next time. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, touch the floor. Let the knees bend, belly to the legs, head hangs down. Then inhale all the way back up. And back down. So move with the flow of your own breath, so you don't have to synchronize with me. Moving up and down. If you feel a little dizzy as you come up, just take a breath standing and start over again. So add a little space for your energetic system. So when I practice in the morning, I take an extra breath, and since I'm practicing in the evening, I'm a little more stable in my energy. My blood pressure is higher. And then the last time or so that you come down, let's stay here. And just those of you who need to not keep the head so low, keep the head maybe just halfway down so you can rest the hands on the head. So this is for people who might feel dizzy or pressure on the head when it goes down. It's a similar position, but not quite so strong for the pressure in the head. And otherwise, if it feels good, stay down all the way. Take a few breaths. And come slowly all the way up. And then let's take the feet a little wider apart. And let's take one foot out to the side. And let's just do it very simply. Let's take the hand down to the knee. The shoulder is above the knee and the other shoulder is following that side. So one line all the way down to the knee. And let's inhale, hand over. Exhale, take the hand back towards the hip, palm turns up, look down towards the foot. Inhale. Exhale, hand to the hip. Good. Find the flow of your breath. Again, shoulder and neck. As you lift the arm up, you're contracting up here. And as you take the hand down, you're lengthening. And then we're going to stay a breath or two with the hand reached over. So we're looking to really open, lengthen this top side. After a few breaths with the arm over, we're going to take the hand back and look down towards the foot. Reach the fingers away, breathing. Come all the way back up, feet forward. Pause a moment. And then we're going to come down to the second side. Take the hand to the knee. Inhale. And exhale, look down. Inhale. Exhale. Keep moving. Find the sequence, the rhythm of your own breath. Good. And then reach the hand over. Stay here, lengthening the top side. And then a couple breaths with the hand down towards the hip, looking down towards the foot. External rotation of this upper shoulder. After a few breaths, you'll come up to the center, both feet forward. Pause a moment. And then let's keep the feet wide apart. Just do a little bit of twisting. So we inhale, open the arms. Exhale, let the knees bend as much as you need to. Take the hand flat on the floor, somewhere to one side, so somewhere towards the opposite foot. Look up at the hand above you for a moment. Make sure this upper shoulder is nice and relaxed, just lengthening. And then inhale, open up wide. Come all the way back to standing and exhale to the opposite side. Take a breath, look up at the hand, exhale down. And again, all the way up. And just continue alternating one side, then the other. Take a breath in the position, look up at the hand, and look down. Continue changing. I'm just going to do about 4 rounds on each side. Finding the rhythm of your own breath. Inhaling, look up at the hand, exhaling down. We're going to inhale, open wide, exhale. We're going to come down to the center after your last round. Both hands towards the floor. You can either keep the arms straight and support the body weight, or you can let the knees be bent, let the body really hang off the pelvis. However close you're coming to the floor isn't so important. Just don't overstretch the back of the legs. We don't want to put stress on the hamstrings. And then we're going to move to the hands and knees from here. Just going to move my clock to a space so I can see it. Everybody else, come down to the hands and knees. And then from here, just do a little vinyasa. So inhale, hands and knees. Exhale, curl the toes unders, lift up. Inhale, knees back down. Exhale, all the way back to childlike posture. Inhale up. When you come up, shoulder blades together, sternum forward. Exhale, lift the butt up. The knees can be bent, but try to lengthen the back. Inhale, knees to the floor. Exhale, all the way back. Inhale up. Exhale back. Keep moving. 3 postures, hands and knees, childlike posture, downward facing dog. If you like this downward facing dog posture, you can stay here for a few breaths, doing whatever variations, adaptations you like. I found my bell behind me. Otherwise, you can rest in childlike posture or continue moving dynamically. Then from here, we're going to come to lying on the back. And in this transition, just pause for a moment. Feel the body. See if you noticed any impression in this area of the third eye from the first breathing we did. I find that kind of visualization, it's like planting a seed of just a sensory experience. So we use this somatic memory as an anchor to help us remember what we need to remember in times when we forget. So now on the floor, let's gently come into a little bridge. So let's take the arms nice and wide for this variation. Palms of the hands turned down. And just inhale, lift the body up. And as you exhale, one vertebra at a time, all the way down. So you don't need to come high. So if anybody has tension in the neck that makes this an uncomfortable posture to do at a high lift, just lift the pelvis, the low back, and come back down. If you're just staying in the lower part of the spine, it might feel nice to have a cushion under the head. But if you can lift all the way up so that you're lifting the heart away from the floor, then you want no cushion, no blanket under the head, and come all the way back down. And wherever you're lifting, maybe stay here for a few breaths in this little bridge posture. As you inhale, really let the body fill. Feel the muscles, the strength of the back side of the body. If you can, stay a little bit longer. If your body would like you to rest instead, then just come down and rest. And then eventually everybody come down back towards the floor. Gently bring the knees towards the body. You can either rock back and forth or a little bit of Apanasana. So that's just gently moving the knees towards you on exhale and letting the arms extend on inhale. I know for some people, the rocking back and forth feels really nice. For me, it's a bit irritating on my sacrum, so I tend not to rock very much. And then just a couple of breaths with this little variation. So we're going to keep the hands on the knees. Inhale, let the knees move away until the arms are straight. When the arms are straight, lift the chin up. So you're contracting the back of the neck. As you pull the knees towards you, drop the chin towards the throat. So the back side of the neck moves towards the floor. And then inhale, do it again. Lift the chin. Exhale, drop the chin down. We'll do that for a few breaths. And then from here, we're going to take the hands off the knees and just inhale, lift the heels towards the ceiling, the hands over the head to the floor behind you. Flex the toes, pull them back towards your knees, and then exhale, release the feet, bend the knees, hands down. So just a few breaths. Inhale, feeling the front side of the legs engage and release. Keep the hips on the floor. It's fine if the legs aren't completely straight. It's just important that you engage the chain of muscles along the front of the leg and that you feel some lengthening through the back sides of the legs, maybe the low back. And then if you like, just a breath or two with the feet staying up, the arms lengthening, reaching away from you. Pull the toes towards your knees. And then take a few breaths and point and flex the feet. Feeling the ankle moving. You can also make circles with the feet so you get a little bit of left and right side. Point and flex. Feeling the hips working, maybe the belly engaging. A little bit of violent shaking is fine. So really feeling the feet, the ankles. And then release. Feet back down to the floor. Rest for just a moment. Let's roll over to one side and sit up. Just do a couple of seated postures before we rest and move towards a visualization. Let's actually do this. So we'll take one leg, bring it in so the bottom of the foot is against the inner leg. And just come forward as much as feels comfortable. So this knee can be bent as much as you like. Let the head come down towards the leg. Inhale, coming up. And exhale down. So whichever variation of this posture feels nice to you, feel free to use the arms however you like. I'm just going to keep it simple tonight. Stay for a few breaths when you come down the next time. Really imagining the feeling of the breath filling up the back side of the lungs. Feel like the expansion is happening mostly to the back side of the body as you inhale. Come back up. We're going to switch legs. Again, just a few times. Exhale down. And inhale up. And then eventually stay in the posture for a few breaths. Really visualizing the whole back side of the body expanding on inhale. And then we'll come up. And we're going to sit in some kind of cross-legged position. So for many of us, it would benefit from a cushion or pillow under the hips so that we can sit up in a way so that the low back is a little bit in its natural arch. So it's not so rounded. So if you know the hips or the knees are a little bit tight, then elevate yourself here. We're just going to take the hand on one side, take the other hand behind you somewhere, and lift up nice and long, straight, and exhale. Rotate, twisting. Be gentle and aware with the neck. So notice if it feels more useful to look behind you or in front of you or somewhere else. Deep breathing. Shoulders relaxed. The arms are just supporting the posture, not forcing it. As you feel ready, we'll release the posture so you can let go of the hands, come back to the center for a moment. Notice if you can feel a bit of a sensation in this third eye region, just a little memory of that visualization of golden light. We're going to come back to it again in just a moment. And then as you feel ready, we're going to reverse the position. So take the hand to the other side, other hand behind you. Nice breath in to lift up, lengthen the spine, and then rotate. Find a position for your head to be in. Breathe deeply. And as you feel ready, release towards the center. Bring the legs in front of you. You can stay on the cushion for this. And we're just going to lean forward like you're just leaning on the thighs of your legs, head down. Pause here a moment. And then come back up to that sitting meditation sort of position. So if this kind of sitting is not comfortable, please use a chair or the end of your sofa, whatever is nearby. So just sit in a way that you can not be too distracted by the sensations in your body as you sit. And if the body doesn't like sitting up, just lie down. We can do the same exercise lying down. So I just want to come back to this little sensation we tried to create at the beginning of practice in the third eye. This image like a golden ball of light. And imagine for a moment this golden ball of light sits just in front of your third eye, so outside of your body, just in front of that point. So stay with this image as long as feels comfortable. And at any point through this exercise, if your attention is far away, try to come back to it or just rest. So we hold this image of golden ball of light, just staying in front of this space by the third eye. And on this golden ball of light, we can write the word joy. So the ball becomes a little golden ball of joy, just sitting right in front of the third eye. And we're going to invite this golden ball of joy to move through our body to help us remember the sensations of joy that we carry within ourselves. So from the third eye, you can imagine this golden ball moving down front of the nose and front of the lips and to the area in the throat. So it's around the region of the throat chakra, just illuminating, warming the spot in front of the throat. And then inviting it to move down in front of the body, somewhere in front of the region of the heart, this golden warmth illuminating your heart, the heart being illuminated with joy. And then allowing this golden ball of joy to move further down, just below the solar plexus, illuminating, warming this chakra of digestion, assimilation, where we really eat up the experiences of light. And we shine this golden ball of joy with its warm light. And then allowing it to move further down, front of the belly button, just a little bit below the belly button, the second chakra. The chakra of joy, celebration, embracing of life. This golden ball of joy illuminating, warming, activating the second chakra. And then allowing this golden ball to move further down, below now the pelvic floor, illuminating us from below, the root chakra, the anchor to this earth. Warmth and golden light and joy. And then we can imagine this golden ball of joy moving up the back of the body, just like it did the front. Slowly moving up, giving a moment's pause at each of these chakra points. So just behind the sacrum, pausing for a moment to observe the light and warmth and joy. Further up, behind the spine, warming and illuminating as it moves up behind the solar plexus, moving slowly behind the heart, and further up the spine between the shoulder blades, the neck, illuminating connection between the spine and the skull, the back of the head, all the way up to the top of the head in the crown chakra. Golden, warm light of joy shining out. And then this golden ball just sinks through the top of the crown of the head and begins to drip like honey through the center of your body, filling you from the pelvic floor up with golden liquid light and warmth. The joy is no longer written on the ball, but is everywhere, filling each cell. And in this moment, being filled with light, purifying the darkness just for a moment. And just coming back for a moment to the mantra we've been using the last couple weeks as you sit with this image as long as it stays. Om Bhu Om Bhuvaha Om Suvaha Om Mahaha Om Janaha Om Tapaha Om Satyam Om Tatsavitur Variniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat Om Apo Jyoti Mritam Brahma Purva Suva Om. As the breath comes back, just take a nice deep breath or two. Let go of any images. Just feel the sensations in the body again. And we'll just close the group guided session with the hands in front of the heart, palms touching. A mantra in alignment with the prayer of Saint Francis's tradition. Lokaha samastaha sukhino bhavantu. May the peace I find within myself be a gift for all beings everywhere, including myself. So from here, just take some time with your body. If you need to stretch out, rest on the floor a little bit, you can do that in your own time. But I'll turn off the recording as we do that. We'll complete our time together.